Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week, brought to you by LaValle Building Supply, as these two teams talk things over after a lengthy timeout here with less than a minute to go. And be sure to stay tuned near the end of the telecast for the H.R. Clough Kearsarge Heating Oil Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. And we've already seen quite a few options, and the ones that's sticking out to me right now, not to give things away, Zach O'Brien coming up with a plethora of offensive boards and putbacks. Is that shot unable to fall, but O'Brien, just like that, on cue, coming up with the defensive board.
Yeah, no shortage of players to choose from the Stevens side. O'Brien, obviously Smith with a good start as well.
Just a reminder that our Game of the Week premieres every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. or on demand anytime at ycnnow.com. So be sure to check that out on our new improved website, ycnnow.com. Richard Bell inbounds it to Spalding. Inside 30 seconds to play. A little bit of a wild shot there.
Strange that you would see them take that shot with that much time left in the half, and with a 21-point lead, you'd think they'd kind of hold it, play a little four corners offense, and take one final shot.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, unless, Coach Baird turning over there is trying to, work on executing some plays in particular. But yeah, I thought the exact same thing. Why not just preserve the lead? As O'Brien, can't get that one to fall. Looked like he had another potential for a three-point play. But he's going to go to the line for two with 8.7 seconds remaining.
Once again, another rebound for the Stevens Cardinals on the offensive side.
Which gives me time to remind you that YCN News will air every weekday at 7 and 10 p.m. on YCN, your local view. Check out our schedule for replays of all of our shows, which you can find at ycnnow.com. So a couple last-minute substitutions here as Noah Woods checks out for the Tigers with that 8.7 seconds remaining. O'Brien can't get that to fall. Newport with the rebound. Stifler quick up the floor, has a little bit of time. Floater, and can't get it to fall. So like you talked about, Jeremy, probably had a little bit more time to put up something a little bit more easy, per se. But
yeah, he had plenty of time. He could have come down. You don't want to set play, but you can move around and at least kind of get something that's a little bit, instead of, hey, we got to rush this one. But unfortunately, that's not what happened for the Tigers.
Well, as the Newport cheerleaders take to the floor for their halftime show, we're going to take a break as well from our YCN Game of the Week with the Stevens Cardinals leading Newport 40-19. Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week, brought to you by LaValle Building Supply. I'm Mike Pizzone, joined by Jeremy Stout. And Jeremy, kind of what we anticipated coming into the contest, with the Stevens Cardinals leading Newport 40-19 here to begin the second half.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a slow start for the Tigers as they come out of the gate early with a nice basket there.
Quick bucket, that was number 52, Brandon Sondorini.
So a little bit of a slow start to start the game, and then it looked like they kind of steadied it and took the punch and counter-punch. They were going to go back and forth with Stevens, but as you mentioned, Stevens pretty much pulling away, led by Smith with 14 points and 7 rebounds in that first half. Zach O'Brien with 9 and 11, and Nick O'Brien with 7.
As Parker Smith just knocked down that deep jumper for the Cardinals. Just a reminder to tune in to YCN's Outside Television on Comcast HD, channel 713 or channel 21 for all the outdoor adventures you love. Noah Spalding bringing the ball up the court for the Cardinals. Kicks it over to Smith, finds Sweet down low. That ball is going to be knocked out of bounds by the Newport defense. So once again, a good, gritty defensive effort by the Tigers. By no means is this young team going to give up. I mean, this is a team that takes pride in being on the floor. They're trying to earn their playing time, so they're going to keep fighting in this game no matter what the score is.
Yeah, and not taking anything away from the Cardinals. Obviously, building a 21-point lead at the first half is a great accomplishment. But the bigger accomplishment, what we're going to find out here, is how Newport responds and comes out of that halftime locker room. They're down 21 points at the half, now cut it into 19. Trying to get something going there with Stifler taking the three, not able to connect. But what kind of heart and, grit does Newport have coming out of that locker room?
Stifler can't pull down that rebound, but it's going to remain Newport ball. I'm not sure if I agree with that call, but hey, who am I to call it? Stifler quick up the floor, has an opening. looking for the foul. A lot of contact there as he can't get that layup to fall, but Ethan Hood picks off the Stevens pass, and Newport once again has possession. Ty Richardson gives it back to Stifler. Stifler in the paint, and he does get the layup to fall that time, so a nice move by Stifler.
See if he can get some of those to drop. He took a lot of them in the first half. He has the moves. He can penetrate off the dribble.
And look at that speed by Ty Richardson as he tries to get himself to that loose ball. And that's going to be a travel against the Cardinals. So make sure you stay tuned near the end of our telecast for the HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Oil Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. And as we talk, or as you mentioned with those halftime stats, it looks like we have a solid 2 candidates right now for the Cardinals. That's assuming the Tigers can mount a pretty big comeback here. And, I mean, we talked about the points. Did you happen to see how many rebounds O'Brien had? Because he has at least 3 here in the second half.
Yeah, Zach O'Brien had 11 in the first half.
That's some pretty astonishing numbers, if I do say so. As Stifler picks off that Cardinals pass. Once again, quick off the floor. No-look pass to Richardson. Richardson puts up the deep three-pointer. And Noah Spalding with the rebound has Smith up the floor, and Smith off the glass and in. So a nice pass, Spalding to Smith, and Smith converts. And just like that, a two-pointer, a deep two-pointer for Ethan Hood. Guess he was on the line there.
Hood with 3 points in the first half. He has 5 now.
And another Stevens turnover, although Sweet picks off that pass. And Noah Spalding kicks it. Parker Smith cannot handle the pass. Just a reminder to tune in every week for the River Valley and Kearsarge Chronicles for the who, what, and where shows of the region. They premiere at 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday right here on YCN, your local view.
A little sloppy on the passing on both ends. Newport taking over possession, and now with the ball only down 17 points, trying to cut into this lead, 1 possession at a time.
And once again, Stifler, that ball touched every inch of that rim and just does not fall.
2/3 of the way down.
Yeah, can't ask for much more from him. As Parker Smith puts up the 3. And Ty Richardson with the rebound. Tried to get it quickly up the floor to Hood, but unable to handle that pass. So, I don't know what your thoughts are, Jeremy, but quite a few turnovers for Stevens here in the second half. And Newport, coming out firing, coming out aggressive, staying in this thing.
Yeah, a little bit of a sluggish start to the second half by the Cardinals. Newport cutting into the lead, 4 points, and we'll see if they can keep that going with 4:36 to go in the third.
Well, as these teams talk things over, we're going to take a quick break from our YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week, brought to you by LaValle Building Supply. Just a reminder that coverage of today's game, like I said, is provided by LaValle Building Supply, so a big thank you to them. As the Stevens Cardinals try to settle into their offense here, gets the ball down low to Parker Smith, and a nice short 8-foot jumper gets that to fall. Coming up a little lame, looks like he may have twisted his ankle or something on that follow through, but gets the 2 points nonetheless. Is Ty Richardson with a nice pump fake, knocks down that shot after freeing up some space. So a good move by Richardson.
We've seen a couple of those nice moves by Richardson. He's not afraid to take a quick drive and then pull up and take a 15-footer. It's tough at this level to get inside sometimes against some of these bigger bodies, but you don't want to settle for a low percentage shot.
And once again, Richardson showing his speed. One of the team's younger players didn't see many minutes last year, but really making the most of his minutes this year. As Parker Smith comes up with a rebound, tries to get it up the floor. He does get it up the floor. The O'Brien brothers. And Zach lays it in. Nice little underhand finger roll, gets the fall.
Whatever works.
And it's the Stevens Cardinals leading 48-29 with less than 3.5 to play in the third quarter. Ethan Hood with the ball now for the Tigers. Gives it up to Richardson. Back to Hood. Over to Stifler. No kickball. I think the ball hit a couple feet there on that play, but hey, we'll just say it remains Newport ball.
Yeah, it was surprising that there was no whistle until the ball actually went out of bounds.
If your business is interested in advertising on YCN or you'd like your team to be televised, give us an email or call at, you can email us at info@ycnnow.com. Stifler quick up the floor for the Tigers, and he's going to be fouled by Sweet. So Newport will set up shot over on the sideline near us.
Stifler tried throwing the ball up there to get that shooting foul, but refs weren't buying it.
Once again, I got to give these Tigers credit. I mean, really kind of keeping pace here in the third quarter. They're not letting Stevens pull away. Although a nice block by Nicholas O'Brien, and then number 42, that's Chris Perry, tries to redeem himself, and he's going to get called for the foul. So the O'Brien brothers, both Nicholas and Zachary, coming up with big nights for Stevens tonight.
And as you mentioned, the Newport squad outscoring Cardinals here by 3 points in the first 5+ minutes.
That's the kind of math we love from Jeremy Stout here on the sideline. Coming up with those numbers as Parker Smith drives to the hoop. Nice move, can't get it to fall, but it kind of shows you his athleticism.
And he's had 2 of those moves already in this quarter where he's gone to the hoop and it's been 3/4 of the way down.
And Ethan Hood knocking down a deep three-pointer with a man in his face.
Second leading scorer for the Tigers with 8.
And that's worth mentioning as we see Parker drive to the hoop here. Can't get it to fall, gets his own rebound, and he knocks that one down. But both of these teams are relatively young teams, especially the Cardinals coming in with just 2 seniors on its roster. I mean, when you look at the success they're having tonight and the fact that they have 2 seniors, this is going to be a team to watch in the years to come. Stifler showing some of those handles, although he loses the ball out of bounds there, and that's going to be Stevens' ball. Just a reminder to local sports fans, 94.5 ESPN Radio's Franklin and House Sports Talk Show is now on YCN. Every weekday evening at 6 p.m., YCN will replay 94.5's noon to 1 p.m. Franklin and House Show. Tune in to hear what's hot in local sports. Smith gives it up to O'Brien. And Smith takes a three-pointer, front rims it once again. Little bit of a scrum under the net. Things are getting a little bit chippy now. Although a lot of smiles into the basket now, so once again, those neighboring rivals.
Right hits back. They're all good now.
Can't hold grudges here. Nice inbound pass to Smith. Richard Bell gives it back to Parker Smith. Thought about the 3, drives hard to the hoop. A lot of contact, and he's still on the ground. No foul call, but Smith being helped up by Noah Woods as Jesse Stifler on the other end converts a nifty layup.
Nice move in a transition basket by Stifler. Nice little spin move and gets the roll.
So a 16-point deficit for the Tigers, really hanging in this game. I mean, sure, 16 points is a little bit of a deficit, but, you know, hanging in there. Sweet puts up the shot, back rims it. Stifler with the rebound, and we're inside the final minute here in the third quarter.
We'll give Newport credit. They've really forced Stevens into some bad shots.
And Noah Woods countering his cousins, the O'Brien brothers, knocking down the 3 and cutting the deficit to 13 points with 30 seconds to go. As Nicholas O'Brien skips on the baseline, gives it up to Parker Smith. Back to Smith, driving to the hoop. He's got some room, and he's going to be fouled from behind. Looked like they're going to call 44 Woods on the foul. And that's going to send Smith back to the line for 2. And free throws have not been the friendliest thing for either team tonight. So these are kind of big free throws for the Cardinals to try to boost up that buffer a little bit before the start of the fourth.
I think that was good defensive play. Get the foul, make sure it's hard enough of a foul that he's not going to make it and go to the line to try for the three-point play. Make him earn the shots, make him earn the points. As you mentioned, they've been struggling from the line. Obviously makes the first one there, but make him earn it.
Have you seen our new and improved website, ycnnow.com? Tune in whenever you want on your smartphone or computer for individual news stories, shows, segments, and game of the week. All from YCN, your local view. So Stifler gives it up to Richardson. Inside 10 seconds to play here. Back to Stifler. Stifler in the paint. Launches up a somewhat wild shot with Smith in his face. Now Smith quick up the floor. 2-1. Gets the shot off. Cannot get it to fall. So the Stevens Cardinals are going to head into the final quarter here at the Wheeler Gymnasium, ahead 52-37. So when we come back, we'll have fourth quarter action from our YCN Game of the Week.